If there's one thing that I have learned from working at a strip club, is that strippers are just regular girls. There is literally no difference between a stripper and a school teacher, a stripper and a marketing social media coordinator. There are so many stereotypes and misconceptions about exotic dancers and who their character and who they are as people. And granted, some of those things may be true. There may be a grain of truth or a lot of truth in some of it. And yeah, certain types of people gravitate towards certain types of jobs. But all in all, what I've noticed from dancers is one, that they are extremely resilient. Two, they know how to read the room. They know how to read a motherfucking room. Three, they know how to read people. They have to know what a person wants. And they have to be able to play that really well, all while having chill, cool energy. And a lot of these girls are also really funny. I will also
I'm sorry to say, and no disrespect, but this couldn't be the career path you wanted to be on when you were a little girl. She's talking about it like, you know, it was her dream job or something. Maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe, when she was 6, 7 years old, she told her mom and dad, I want to be a stripper one day. I don't know, but I've never really heard that before. But I mean, she's talking like she's recommending the job to all the women out there. Come on, be a stripper today. This is the dream job, and if you want your American dream, come be a stripper. That's what it really sounds like. She's promoting it very heavy, very very heavy. I know a lot of strip clubs right now are like that girl right there. We need one of her. But yeah, I'm a little lost. I don't know. Maybe I've been inside a little bit too long. I don't know. But I mean, are we also now in a place to where, um, you know, being a stripper is compared to being a teacher? Wow.
like to say that from my experience of interacting with girls that are very far disconnected from the exotic world and sex work and all that, my experience in dealing with those girls versus my experience in dealing with strippers, a lot of strippers have way more self respect than girls that are not doing sex work. And this might sound like a crazy claim to some, but if you have a brain and you don't believe that sex defiles women or sex work defiles women, then this tracks and it totally makes sense. When you work at a strip club, you know that men are there to pay you. When you exist as a feminine presenting person, as a woman, you know that you are viewed as an object, that your body is commodified, right? And you step into this building where you make money off of that and you are in control, and there's security guards there to protect you, there's management there to protect you, and you defend yourself. When I'm at work and somebody and the bitch acts up, guess what the dancers do? They square up. They know what to do. Dancers know how to stand up for themselves, and you have to have boundaries. Like, this is a job where
Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I am on a mission to lead others to Christ. And if you believe in that movement, I would appreciate it if you join this journey with me. So let me get this straight. You have to have boundaries, but you're a stripper putting your breast in horny men's faces. You're showing random men your God given prize that the man above giving you to only show to your future husband. Okay. Also, let's keep in mind, and this may hurt, but it's honesty. Men may want to have sex with you, but the man you want is not taking you home to meet his mom. He will have sex with you all day long, but meeting mom, it isn't happening. So, I get it. You should respect all women. But there's going to be men out there that say, what type of boundaries do you got? You're basically coming in my face, taking your bra off, and giving me the wiggle. Like, I mean, what are we talking about? Boundaries? I'm maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm too traditional. I don't know. But she's losing me right now because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're telling me to have boundaries and not to lust, because once a man start to lust, a man start to move towards that lust. Now, lusting is evil. Lusting is bad. It goes against Christ. I see. So I understand that. But when you're in that environment that she's in, men are lusting all day. And you're telling those men to now have boundaries when you're putting your breast in his face? Man.
If you don't have boundaries, you're not going to survive. I have such a deep respect and admiration for dancers because these are insanely strong, intelligent women that know how to work a motherfucking room. The thing about the strip club is that the truth is out there in the open for everyone to see. Men go in there usually because they are horny and because they objectify women. But you know what? They are still expected to come correct. In fact, it's a requirement to come correct, to come with class, with respect, and with offerings. Respect and offerings are the bare minimum. So why are we letting this random guy from Hinge or from the bar have free access to our time, energy, and bodies with no offerings? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. If men that objectify women and that are going into an establishment because they're horny and they want to jack off when they get home, if they can provide basic respect and offerings, why can't Brian from Hinge do the same thing? And my whole point is that we just need to be more aware of our value and that we have the upper hand. We have so much power and we haven't seen it. And the patriarchy and men don't want us to see our value. Why do you think they've been trying to tear us down for like all of history? It's because they're scared of us, because they are scared of their own desires and how much power we have. So yeah, it's time we open our eyes and it's time that we demand more.
I'm not saying that all women, including strippers, do not deserve respect. They absolutely deserve to be treated like human beings, period. But sorry, it doesn't raise your value. It actually devalue you when you have to show your body and use sex to get the attention you want. Because lust is like a drug. It doesn't last and it's not long term. Whatever value you get in that moment from a man will not last. So to be honest, this is a terrible way to confirm that you have value. And this young woman here has a lot of life to live, and during her life will have a lot to learn. And here's a lesson I want everybody watching this to understand. Attention is not the same thing as respect, and desire is not the same thing as love. A man wanting your body doesn't automatically mean he values your heart, your character, your future or your life. You can have a room full of men looking at you and still go home feeling completely empty. That's because attention is cheap. Character is expensive. Anybody could get attention. The question is, what are you building with your life? And that's where I disagree with the idea that being a stripper is exactly the same thing as being a teacher. No disrespect to anybody working in the strip industry, but let's stop pretending every occupation carry the same purpose, responsibility or impact. A teacher is educating somebody's child. A teacher can change the trajectory of a person's entire life. That's a different kind of value. And I'm not saying that makes a teacher a better human being than a stripper. I'm saying the work itself serves a way different purpose. We have to stop confusing human worth with the value of a particular choice. God gives every human being value, but that doesn't mean every decision we make is equally wise. First Corinthians 6:19-20 says our bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit and that we should honor God with our bodies. That's the part I don't want people to skip over. Your body has value. Your sexuality has value. Your future has value. So don't give the most intimate parts of yourself away just because somebody is willing to pay, clap, stare, or throw money at you. And young woman, please hear me. Don't let temporary attention trick you into believing you found permanent value. Don't do that. That man throwing money at you tonight might not even remember your name tomorrow. In fact, he won't. But your decision can follow you for years. And this isn't just a message for women. Men need to hear it too. Stop participating in a culture that teaches women their greatest value is how much attention their bodies can attract, and then turn around and complain about the kind of woman that this culture produces. You helped build it, bro. So everybody needs to take accountability. Proverbs 31:30 says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. That's the lesson. Beauty fades, attention fades, lust fades, money comes and goes. But character, wisdom, faith, discipline, and the way you live your life can leave a legacy. So don't spend your life trying to prove you are valuable to people who only want access to you. Know your value before somebody else tries to put a price on it. And that's the real lesson from this video. So I really hope that this young lady sooner than later learn that all you doing is bringing your value down. You're not upping your value. And as long as you stay in this industry, it's going to become harder, 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 and harder to find a man who want to be with you for the rest of your life. That's a fact. And I'm going to leave it there. It's your boy, Paul P. I love you all. I'm out of here. Deuces.